Ontario making a move to ban online gambling ads that features athletes, celebrities, and influencers.
That's right. The new rules proposed by the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario go into effect at the end of February. That's of next year. Joining us now for a look at the move is Tony Chapman, brand expert and host of Chatter That Matters. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today. This is a story that a lot of people have been talking about from all walks of life.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it should never happen. I mean, we're not in the 1960s with Johnny Carson smoking Lucky Strikes on TV. Mm-hmm. We've banned advertising to children. We've absolutely taken away any sense of advertising tobacco, celebrity endorsement, and alcohol, celebrity endorsement with cannabis. So why is gambling somehow find a way into our homes and getting these celebrities that are going to entice minors to get in? And by the way, when I talk about entice, we're not talking about bringing them down to Vegas to gamble. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Orange Reach Desire. They turn on their phone. They got an app that's very gaming. This is a gaming generation. They're often seated with the free cash to get going, and they start playing. And they think that instead of playing for a leaderboard or validation, they're now playing with their money, or in some cases, their parents' money.
Now, you're an advertising guy. You can't blame the industry for sort of looking to people to sort of get their products to market here. Do you think they expected this kind of blowback?
I'm not anti-gambling if that's what you want to do, but yes, they expected this blowback. To me, this was the Ontario government trying to make sure that this gambling revenue didn't go offshore and it stayed within Ontario. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of opened it up to get, the users on. And once you're there, you kind of get very sticky. You get used to your site. So I think that they knew that this was going to happen. And I think for them now backpedaling, because we met with some addiction groups and such, and they still haven't gone the full way. I would not allow celebrities even to do, safe gambling ads. I mean, you've got to separate the church from the state. This is, to me, Ontario government saying, we don't want to lose that massive amount of revenue offshore. We want to keep it within Ontario. And that's why they allowed this to happen.
And let's talk about the type of gambling. You brought up a good point here, where it's not the traditional thing that we think of going to a casino, walking through the doors. A lot of this is online, and the method of it is really through games. It's a lot of game-based activities where, at first glance, a lot of parents might not even realize that their child is playing a gambling game. So walk us through what we might see in the future when it comes to restrictions around that.
Well, I mean, the scary thing is that it's going to be difficult to put up any kind of guardrails. Artificial intelligence is going to allow us to fly fish in the exact game at the right moment. For example, they might know that this is allowance day. They might know that because you spend more, that you're searching for more product on Facebook because you have money, and they're going to come in with these ads. So it's a very dangerous situation because, again, casual gambling, to me, I don't understand the math. You can't build a palace like Vegas based on casino tables without the house winning a lot of money. Exactly. But the reality is, the scary thing is it's exciting, it's enticing, and if you seed it and prime it with free money, these young people think they can game the system because they can game Call of Duty. The difference is, obviously, we're dealing with odds, we're dealing with dollars and cents, and again, with gambling, the house always wins.
So how do you expect then advertisers, these gaming websites, organizations, to pivot? How do you expect to see the ads changing as of the end of February of next year?
They'll go much more personalized, much more, hey, Nick, you're a big baseball fan. Here's something you should think about. They're going to start using your data much more intelligently, so it'll be a little bit less about the bigness of a Gretzky or a McDavid and be much more about you as an individual, what your patterns are like online, what you do online, and that'll give them sort of they'll know how to fly fish, and they'll know exactly when you're ready to bite.
And Tony, when it comes to including influencers in this, we talked a little bit about Twitch streamers that'll spend hours every single day playing these gambling games. Talk about the importance of really cornering that online market when it comes to online gambling.
Yeah, I mean, influencers are becoming the tiebreaker, especially with the young generation. I mean, Rihanna doesn't get $1 million for a tweet at a fashion show because for a reason, she has millions of followers. Mm-hmm. Some of these celebrities and influencers have an audience as big as yours. Yeah. And the people are there because they want to be like that influencer. So once again, having an influencer nod to one gambling site or other, or start talking how much money they made, or thank God that he got the final goal because I tripled my investment, that's a dangerous precedent as well. So if you're going to get into gambling, listen, our government's very good at making money on tobacco and cannabis and alcohol, and they want to make money on gambling. My concern is we could be creating a whole new generation of gamblers, and more importantly, 75% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
they might see this as their Hail Mary. Both of those are big watch-outs for society that's already struggling to help a lot of people make ends meet.
Absolutely. Listen, Tony Chapman, appreciate you coming in this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Always.